While rogue elements in the Nigerian police make brutality a pastime, citizens now strive to enforce their fundamental rights. Justice Modupe Osho-Adebiyi of the Federal High Court, Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja, has ordered the Inspector General of Police to pay the sum of 50 million naira damages to Professor Zainab Abiola, widow of the late MKO Abiola, for violation of her fundamental human rights. Delivering the judgment, Justice Osho-Adebiyi held that the arrest of Mrs Abiola in a right gown and further detention without arraigning her in court constitutes gross violation of our rights to personal liberty. Wale, can you just brief us about this case?
Well, I think we are talking of Mrs. Zainab Abiola, one of the winner of the acclaimed winner of the June 12 election. This policeman, led by one, I think, Teju Moses, one engineer Ibrahim, who is said to be the son of a former AG. He went to his house, her house, arrested her, took her, detained her for 3 days, and she was in her nightgown. And they paraded her, even though she was, a mother. They took her away in the presence of her children, kept her for 3 days, humiliated her, and reduced her to an animal. But thank God that she was able to go to court. And at the end of the day, there is justice.
To enforce her right.
To enforce our fundamental right. Because I don't understand why the police should go to that extent. And if they can do this to a woman of that high status, you can imagine what ordinary women are going through that don't even have access to the media or don't even have money to go to court to seek enforcement of their fundamental rights. So it's a very, very, very sad story. And when the woman went to court, the defense of the police was ridiculous, that they don't know her. The woman had to provide evidence that she was even given a letter by the police to be as a consultant to the police in the past years. But they went to court and said that we don't even know her. So this is quite ridiculous. I hope they will be conscientious enough not to appeal this case. Because if they appeal this case, I hope that they will slam another 50 million, making 100 million naira on them. Because, this is the height of humanity. Just speak out like that. What do you want to achieve? In a nightgown with her on this, and then you took her like that, paraded her.
For 3 days.
So, for 3 days, you kept her in detention. So this is quite, this was in 2022. And I hope that the police will pay this compensation. And not just that, it's not enough to just pay compensation. The policeman that led this, an inspector, it's not a corporal. We must have had some experience, in the police. I hope there will be justice, and I also hope that those policemen, will be punished.
When you look at it, the first of all, she was accused of even slapping her oddly.
I remember I saw a photograph.
Do you understand?
Whether the oddly was bleeding from the nose.
It was all the rules.
Well, it was, the point is that I think under the current Inspector General of Police, I think human rights abuses are rising. And it's worrisome, because the other day, it was some policemen somewhere in Abia State that invaded a live studio of a TV station while a program was going on to arrest a guest. And the police commissioner was even saying, yes, that you can. Where do you do that? Where do you do that? So
the case was a dispute between him and his...
that is it. So the unfortunate thing is that even the police get involved. They now show personal interest in matters that should just be handled professionally. Look at the way, the influential citizens use the police to barricade the homes of citizens, to invade the homes of citizens, even cut their light and all of it. What is all this for? What is all this for? Somebody, you don't have to go to that extent. If the woman has committed a crime, treat it professionally. She's still a suspect. Presumed innocent until proven guilty. And anything you do to tamper with the process makes you culpable. There was a time one Attorney General of the Federation warned the police that they were piling up judgment debts for the federal government that the police should do something about this. Handle matters professionally. Stop letting your emotions get the better of you, and then you go and do this. People go to court, they win, you are now piling up judgment debts for the federal government. You are not the one paying. There are these things. Even actually said that the money for payment of judgment debt should be taken from the allocations, the annual budgetary allocations of the police, so that they will learn to treat issues more professionally.
Jide, what can you tell us about this case?
Yes, I remember reading this story back then. Initially, I thought that it was even a case of impersonation, but in the fullness of time, I discovered that she was actually one of the widows of the late Abiola. And if the police can go to this extent, it shows just how irresponsible some policemen are. And the police should continually weed its ranks of undesirable elements. Because, look, let's face it, there's no way the police can pay these judgment debts. There's no way the police can pay. And I don't think that the way it's going, because even the federal government cherry picks what judgment debts they pay. So why would you bring dishonor to the name of the police? So the policemen involved in this, now that conviction has been secured against the police, should be dismissed. They should be punished severely. Whether they are senior people or not, they should be punished severely, because what I've seen is that it's difficult to punish senior people in the police. It's only those corporals and the rest of them that get easily dismissed. I've not seen a senior police officer paraded and then dismissed the way they dismiss the junior ones. And it's not as if they don't commit infractions. After all, we've seen some DPOs removed because they were involved in bribery. One still happened last week. So how do you keep senior police officers in the force despite overwhelming evidence of corruption, but dismiss the ones who collect 10 naira, 20 naira from people by the roadside? No one is holier than the other. Two-Face sang that song that nobody holy pass. So they are not holier than the boys that they arrest by the roadside, and then they will remove their police jerseys and then send them packing. Those senior officers to DPOs, they are the enablers of some of the terrible things that the police, junior officers do. So they also deserve to be punished. I want to believe that the police will do this. Otherwise, this sort of abuse of human rights that have serious consequences will continue. And we don't want to see that continue.
I think to reform that force, it's very important. You know, they need this reorientation and how to deal with.
There's a need for issues, retraining of men of this police force. I know what has happened in this case is for those who say that if you have state police, they will abuse it. But you can see clearly that this federal police being abused by certain individuals. So it's not a justification to say because state governors will abuse police, then we should not have community policing. The police cannot assume the status of the judiciary. You are to enforce law. You are not to interpret law. So anybody you arrest, even in the case of murder, is a suspect. You have to take him to court first. Then it is now left for the court to prove whether he's a murderer or not. So I think the police needs a lot of reform. But the fundamental thing is even to decentralize the police itself, so that communities, states can take ownership of security.
Okay. Well, it's just left for the police and other security agencies to purge themselves of this tendency to abuse citizens' rights. I've been in a police station where I saw a DCO slap a suspect. I said, for what? For what? At the end of the day, what this person is being accused of may even be found to be a hoax. You slap somebody. Why do you get so excited because somebody's in your police station? Treat people with decency. We're in the 21st century. Let's upgrade our thinking. Let's upgrade the way we handle issues. You already have somebody in your station and then you are brutalizing the person. What are you showing? That you are afraid of the person even while inside the police station. The DPOs should do better. DPOs are really a disappointment. They should do much, much better because they're the ones that interface with a lot of these police officers and the rank and file. They should do much, much better. Some of them are just a huge disappointment, sincerely speaking.
All right. For Nigerian students that